now.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. At least I'm going to welcome you back, or you're going to welcome me back. I stepped away for a minute, and you had a chance to enjoy the interviews that Monique, of course, was able to take control of. But I'm back, and I get a chance to visit a young man. I'm going to say young man because he's younger than me, but I had the chance to experience something in my life different than I had ever experienced before, and I want to share that with you because many of you may not know, but I was born and raised in Canton, Ohio. So the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the induction ceremony, it's like a holiday that we have in our city that we share with nobody else in the world, except you, if you come to Canton for that weekend. And one thing that the kids always got excited about was a chance to touch, to meet, to shake the hands of one of the Hall of Famers. And I got a chance to experience something that I think very few people ever had a chance to do, and that is when Will was actually being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he was attending P&E, and it was the Player Networking event, I believe, 2015, and I think we were in Indianapolis, and I think you were on the show, and you told us, hey, there's a chance. Well, we knew you were, one of the finalists, and there was a chance that you were going to have to leave us and go somewhere else and enjoy that moment where they let you know, hey, you're in. So do you recall that, Will?
Well, I think was really the cool thing about it is that we've been doing P&E for a long time, and I've been a member of P&E since close to the inception. And I always look at it and think about, where I was when I first found out that I was going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. What was really cool was the first year, because I was there 3 years in a row when I made finalists.
Wow.
And so the first year I was there, had the most unbelievable speech from, he used to be the, I'm trying to think, he was in the legislator for OU or Oklahoma, and he was an ex-player. He gave an unbelievable speech, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm going through and I don't get in my first year and I'm sort of upset about it. And then the second year, I'm really mad going, man, and what do I got to do to get in? And had a lady walk up to me, I'm trying to think of who she was, that basically told me, baby, it's only one road, one piece of the nugget of the road. It goes, it's not who you are. It's not going to define you. It's just one piece of the road that you've already paved your way. And what's meant to happen is meant to happen. Wow. And at that point, I looked at it totally differently of going into the Hall of Fame. And so that third year I got the knock on the door and had the opportunity to, get a chance to go visit Canton. And it's one of those surreal things when you get there and they tell you, welcome home, you really feel like you're at home. It's really unique of how they make you feel when you show up on that campus.
Well, we do the best as a citizen of Canton, Ohio. We do the best we possibly can to make you feel welcome, to make you feel like it is your home. And you are extra special, man. And so it's just always an honor when I get a chance to see you, talk to you again, and appreciate you taking your time out today. The COVID hasn't been much of a problem to you guys there. Am I right about that? You and the family safe and everybody's healthy?
Family's safe, man. They're doing really well. And, my daughter, she actually works in Indianapolis now in the hospitals there doing her rotations. And,
is that? Wow.
Yeah. And so, my wife works here and she does work at the hospital here. So they're doing well. They've gotten their first vaccine shots already put in place. So they're doing good and everybody's healthy, which is good.
Okay, so tell us a little bit, Will, about how you're spending your days nowadays that, of course, the playing career is over with. You've been doing a lot of things in the community, but share some of the other things that you've been spending your time doing nowadays.
Well, I actually am into banking a little bit here and there. So I have a group of us that we work in banking. We've done it before, had it for 10 years, and then we sold it and bought a new one. And then from there, I work for the league office, NFL Legends. And I have my foundation, the Will to Succeed Foundation. And then I'm working in the community trying to build avenues so that we can help those that need help, but also put a new mindset to everyone that we get a chance to touch and be around. And that what sort of brought me to the program I See Stars, which is one of those programs that I'm trying to build here in Kansas City. I'm trying to emulate what they've been able to do in Chicago and Milwaukee. And next is going to be the Kansas City market, so that we can explode and get new young talent out there in the tech world. And that's why I'm here today, is actually to bring and introduce the P&E network and the NFL to IC Stars. And I thought it would be one great way to pull it up, to actually bring the founder in so that she can talk about what she did and what she's created, because it's one of those, what we call true game changers.
Okay.
Of game changers as far as how we are going to change the social economic balance in the US.
Okay, so would that also be would that also lead us into one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about, was leading adults through innovation? Would that be something of which I think it's Sandee, am I right?
Yep.
Okay, of which Sandee wants to have a few words
I'll bring in Sandee Kastrul so she can talk about IC Stars.
Okay, great. Okay, Sandee, are
Thanks,
you?
guys. Yeah, no, I'm happy to, and thanks for having us here. This is really exciting. And yeah, I'm the president and co-founder of IC Stars, and we're a technology, leadership, and business training organization for underrepresented and underserved folks living in our communities. And the big idea behind IC Stars is, yes, let's teach folks technology skills so that they can get great jobs, and let's connect folks to the market where the jobs are in technology. But then let's also use the framework in technology of solving problems and building solutions to develop community leaders. So we're both, you know, we have a 90% placement rate for our graduates. The average earning increase is over 400% in 6 months. But what we're really proud of, in addition to those metrics, are the community leadership stories coming from our alums, whether they are starting businesses and hiring from the community, or they're volunteering or mentoring or setting up technology labs in the community, or whether they're doing advocacy work and affecting policies that impact our community. And so it's really very exciting stuff. And Will's been such a huge champion of bringing IC Stars to Kansas City, and we are really geeked to make that move, because the outcomes are terrific, and the more folks that go through IC Stars, the more people who have impact in the community. Each one of us impacts thousands. Like, look at Will, he's impacted gazillions.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, IC Stars, is it a certification program? Is it part of the extension of the education experience at the high school level? Explain to me how one can get involved in IC Stars.
Absolutely. So the typical age is 20 something, but we don't have an age cap, so you can be as old as you are. And the IC Stars program is 4 months, super intensive, 12 hours a day, and you're actually building software for a real Fortune 500 company. And so you're getting very practical skills that are market driven, cutting edge technology, and a whole support structure to figure out how you learn best and how to apply that learning to doing.
Wow. Okay. So is this a nonprofit organization, or is
Yep.
this? Okay. Okay. And so how does one qualify?
Sure. Well, we look for, 6 months work experience and a GED or a high school diploma. But then I think more than anything, it's about having the right attitude, the right motivation. Like, you want to change your life, or you want to change the life of your community, you want to change the life for your family, and resiliency. So our belief is that the more obstacles we've overcome in our life, the more resilient we are. And that resiliency makes for great computer programmers, makes for great entrepreneurs, and makes for great football players.
Excellent.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was spent many of my years in Philadelphia, and I worked for a company there called People for People. I actually was a founding board member, 501c3. Reverend Dr. Herb Lusk was a running back for the Philadelphia Eagles before I got there, and it was a community development program. It was a 501c3, and there was computer training, and it was obviously something that was to help those who were disadvantaged to improve their employment, if you will, their employment, whatever, to make them better qualified for opportunities based upon the skill set they were learned from the program that we had. And it was all around technology. And I would assume that you guys feel that for those who are preparing for what's available in the market, technology is the way to go.
Yeah, technology, and Larry can certainly talk more about this, but it's no longer a nice to have when it comes to how, education, learning technology. It's a must have. Like, we must be digitally literate. And that really, if we talk about social justice, the idea of technology and becoming a maker or writing the code or writing the rules means that nobody can take that away from you, but moreover, it shifts us from being consumers of technology to being makers. And when we make that shift from consumer to maker, then we're free, right? That's social justice.
Yes. Yes. And interesting, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation today if it were not for technology that did not exist when I was in grade school, high school, or college. So it obviously has been something that's been very important to our lifestyle, and will be the new norm, I'm assuming, for a lot of people. So there's another gentleman you mentioned there, Larry, as well. Is Larry also a part of IC Stars?
Yes, I'm an alum now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you took place in the program, and you since have moved on, and I'm assuming have a good employment situation nowadays. Is that correct?
I work with a pretty good organization, and we do some cool things with programming and just service work in general, helping out other industries. But like you said, like the technology, when I came in 20 years, the program has been around for 20 years, right? Cycle 48 is getting ready to start in March. I was around in 2000. I was cycle 2, so they consider me an old head when I come around and I mentor and go to coffee or have these exchanges. But it's just a testament to the program and how successful it's been. It's been ongoing, so it's been a good experience.
Well, that's good. Okay, so Larry, so take us back to prior to you getting involved in the program. Would you consider yourself as somebody who might have been identified as a geek or potential geek? Were you technology anything you ever thought about?
No, you kind of touched on it a second ago about how technology has increased over the years. So 20 years ago, it was the .com era, right? Just web pages were coming up. There wasn't a big explosion in technology. It was still expensive to get certain things in your house. So, I wasn't a geek at any extent. But the one thing that I do look back on now, and even when I talk to interns now, it's the same thing over and over. Wow, what if I hadn't found this? Where would I be? What would I be doing? Prior to me getting in, I talked to my grandmother. She's still around. I'm fortunate. And, she calls me. She says, "Hey, how's your job going? How's your job?" I'm like, "The job's good, Grandma." And prior to me, the conversation in my family and household has always been job, job, job. I got to a point in my life where it became career, right? And in one generation, I'm able to pass that vocabulary and that knowledge to my kids. And now not only is a career part of their vocabulary, but they have options. And now they talk about being entrepreneurs. So in one generation, the structure of the program has allowed me to think outside the box and grow, and then take my family forward generationally.
Yeah, I like that. I actually, there's this little thing I came up with when I was back working at People for People, which is the organization in Philadelphia I work for, the job training, that we should educate our children so that they could teach us. And certainly I did that. I have a young millennial. My daughter's probably about 26 years old now, but I just bought a new laptop. Of course, I turned to her to help me with this technology, got her an education so she could teach me these things. And obviously our kids nowadays, I mean, they just pick up technology. There's no fear of it. There was fear in my generation. Oh, I can't do that. What is this? We're stuck in our ways. And nowadays the new generation, I mean, they embrace it. They love it, and so I'm going to imagine that you guys are just going to, like you said, entrepreneurs. That's one thing that I'm very much in tune with and concerned about going forward, particularly, as we look at a lot of Black and brown people in our communities, are the opportunities that technology is bringing or has been revealed through technology, are those opportunities available? You mentioned entrepreneurship for for Black and brown kids, and just for those and women, for those who are interested that may have never had a chance, any underprivileged community that would never have a chance to be an entrepreneur, possibly now with a program like this, there could be an opportunity. Would you say that would be right, Larry, or no?
No, that's absolutely correct. And just to speak metaphorically, when you code, you want to let your code be scalable, right? So if I pass it to you, you can build on it, and that's how all these application things are built. Somebody gets it to a certain point, and then another person says, "Oh, that's interesting code. I'm going to build on this." So it's called scalable, and it's kind of metaphorically speaking what Icy Stars is, right? Cycle after cycle, we just keep building on the next thing. And Sandee and everybody at Icy Stars has done a great thing because they've adapted. So remember, when I started, it was the .com era. Now they're doing cool things. They're doing JavaScript, C#. They're learning all these things along the way, and the program has adapted with the technology. So it's not stagnant. And you're correct. That's exactly right.
Oh, well, that's
I mean, look at what we're doing, right now. I mean, social media, Zoom casting. I mean, these are things just 2 years ago, right? That were not necessarily a necessity. They were there, but now it is. And that's so exciting that you're on that cutting edge and have that mindset. You're thinking that way of staying not just current, but what's next for the students. I'm interested, Will, how did you find IC, or how did they find them? And
Well,
what are you particularly proud of?
Actually, my son's girlfriend father introduced us. And he goes, "Hey, Will, I know you're into programs. You do all this different stuff." He goes, "I've got one that you're going to love, that you need to try to find a way to expand it as much as you can." And so once I walked in and got a chance to meet Sandee and the group and go through high tea, after that, I was hooked. And I said, this is perfect. This is exactly what is needed. And we've been working on this program for a couple of years now. So we're ahead of the curve of the social curve that's now coming behind us. So we're ahead of the wave. So we're hoping to ride it into 2021 and be able to start building out this program across the country to make a difference.
Well, Will, I like what I hear, and I always want to remind you, I'm from that city of Canton, Ohio, and they could use a program like this. So I certainly would like to have a conversation with you guys at some point in time. But is it hard to get a program like this up and running in a new territory?
Well, it takes the village. And so it would be a heck of a lot easier if all we had to do was just kind of put our shingle up and say, come on in. But the model of IC Stars is one that bridges the communities that we come from with the industry. And so we are, with Will's help and some other folks, building that network or that community of employers, of sponsors, of community folks, recruits, really setting the stage for it, because it's no one person doing the heavy lift, it's everyone.
Yeah, what they did say, it takes a village, so I like to hear that. Yes. Well, that certainly, again, we're all very excited about it. We know, I mean, it's here to stay. I mean, I've got to become a lot more comfortable with the technology than I have been before. We've been forced, but I think one thing that we all are very thankful for is there became a time where many businesses made the adjustment to the technology. Before, everybody would ask you for your phone number and for your address. Now it's what's your cell number, and what's your email address. And if you don't have either one of them, there's something wrong with you, but it's the norm now. This is how we do business, is how we communicate, is how we live, how we interact with our families. I've got a granddaughter that I've never seen before, but through technology, I've seen pictures and I've done FaceTiming. So what's the next step for you guys in your business? What's the next thing you're looking for, you're excited about? You have something coming up interesting that you guys are all excited about?
Well, in about 3 minutes, we actually start the next session where we actually get a chance to be a part of the P&E for the next hour. We get to run one of the great programs that they run at IC Stars for that hour, which I'm excited to do, so I can figure out, what's my legacy? What's my next play? What is going to build on? And to me, that's going to be really exciting. And then from there, we'll, like here in Kansas City, we'll try to get the community behind us, which is what we've been working on. And then we'll be able to expand it as fast as we can.
Well,
Fantastic.
one thing that we all know for sure is what your legacy, part of your legacy is that you're one of the greatest football players that ever played the game, Will, and I congratulate you on that. And I'd be crazy if I didn't ask you to just go ahead and say what we already know, that is who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm Kansas City Chiefs, man. That's how it works, you know. Home team is the way it works.
Hey, man.
Well, and Ray, I want to add, Will, aside from Hall of Fame status and earning it, and the Chiefs are going to win. Woody Hayes, coach for Ray Ellis, used to have a famous saying, "Pay it forward," you know, and it's a philosophy that a lot have adopted. And we cannot acknowledge you enough, not only for your support of the P&E over the years and what you're doing, but with what you're doing with IC and the young people that are being impacted in JR. I mean, 20 years. I mean, my goodness, it becomes a generational paying it forward initiative, and that is legacy work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you say you had 3 minutes, so that means we're going to have to let you go. We thank you so much for, like you said, you've been a part of this probably as long as it's been around, and Guy certainly appreciates that. We appreciate it. So that means we're going to look forward to seeing you next year. Hopefully we'll be there live, but we'll continue to share our experience with you, with the people in the world, because we'll be using technology. So Sandee, you guys,
Thank you for coming.
You're there as well.
Thank you.
Okay. And Larry, good luck to you, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. You all enjoy the game too.
Okay. All right. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.